Holy crap, that's a giant spider. Oh, hello, how are you? This is Dustin DaHusky, and we're going to do another pandemic talk. I'm still wearing the same shirt, and I haven't found Bigfoot yet, but he might be in my woods. I may need to entice him to come out of his hole with a block of cheese. Or a duck, I don't know. Or a ham. Or doctor's sausage. So, there's one thing I've actually noticed the most out of 2020. Furry aside, and everything else. It gets lonely. Which sucks. And I'm a very active person. I see friends and family all the time, although now looking back, this past year, I really start to realize I definitely saw friends. I could see more family. But this past year, oh boy, it's pretty rough. You realize how much you appreciate your family and your friends when you've lived through 2020. Looking back in hindsight with this video, now you're going to be looking at this video like 4 years down the road and like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was talking about that. But I miss my friends and I miss my family. I miss my dad. I love my dad. Pretty close with him. I miss my grandparents. Miss my aunt. My Uncle Tom. Yeah, Uncle Tom. Yeah, he's just there. Never really close, but it's good to see him from time to time, but we never really close. And his IV drip of Mountain Dew. Oh yeah, he's wired. He's wired like a coat hanger. But anyway, I've noticed that 2020 is starting to really drag on when you don't see your friends often. Or even some, like, it's not to say I've never seen any of my friends since this happened. Throughout the course of a year, doing it safely, giggity. Oh, that's a bad joke anyway. I see my friends not often, not frequent, but enough to where I can sense their presence, I can enjoy their presence. Yeah, it's a fleeting moment. Yeah, it's maybe for not that long, but you know what? You start to really appreciate any moment you can get with your friends. It's the same with family. My dad works second shift at a hospital, but he's a first shift type of lifestyle, so he still wakes up dead ass in the middle of the morning, or 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, does his normal routine in the morning and in the early afternoon. Then he goes to work at 2 p.m., to which then he gets out by around 10 or 11. So he has dinner at work. He has dinner as his lunch, to where when he gets home, he goes straight to bed. So my dad lives a first shift lifestyle while working second shift, if that makes sense. Because you know what? He's worked first shift all his life. If I were forced to do second shift, I hated third shift. I hated second shift. Never cared for it. If I was ever forced, oh, they better pay damn good for that to be worth it. But that's the way how I would go. But I rarely ever see my dad, and I like my dad. I love my dad. Oh, anyway, um, I've been bonding with my dad recently over, plastic model building, because I used to do that as a kid. My dad's a professional model builder. Well, he doesn't get paid for it, but he is damn good at it. A few people have ever seen his finished model works, and oh boy, are they museum quality, and they're fantastic. Till you touch him and something breaks, and then he just starts swearing. Like, something I break, I look at, he comes over, he looks at it, breaks it more, then swears more. Man, it's the same thing. But even before the pandemic, I rarely saw my dad. Maybe once every 2 months, which, Back when my folks were recently divorced, I almost saw my dad almost on a weekly basis. I used to see my grandparents on a weekly basis. Especially in college, I almost saw them every 2 days just to say hello, just to kind of vent to them about the world and just, hang out with them. I just love my grandparents, the DaHusks. I rarely get to see them either, but because of pandemic, I would not want to see them for the sole reason of not seeing them too often to potentially give them something. But yeah, I miss them. And then friends. Going back to friends. Who has lots of friends? Because I care about my friends. I appreciate my friends. Old friends, new friends. Regardless, you're a friend to me. I care about you. But with pandemic, you stay at home a lot. And you really stay at home a lot. Then you're watching YouTube. And you're watching a lot of YouTube. Then you really start to wonder, 2020, you're a bastard. Then you really start to wonder, or not wonder, you really start to think about your friends, family too, in the same way. You miss them. That's perfectly normal. Human beings are social creatures of habit. We enjoy social interaction. That's why we have film festivals. And again, going back to fur meets, fur cons. As furries, we're very social creatures. But while pandemic, we must apply to some rules. Your snoot, your beans, social distance. But no one told you that you shouldn't see your friends. You shouldn't see your family. Maybe not often. You shouldn't see them every day. You shouldn't make a big habit of it. But yeah, social distance. Yeah. Social distance. Yeah, you can visit your friends at 6 feet or 10 feet apart. Do it safely. Yeah, there's no harm in that. As long as you cover your snoot, okay, you're in business. See your friends, see your family. That should still happen, which, I miss my family, most particularly my dad. My grandparents too. You should see them once in a while because you realize that their presence in your life means a lot to you. Yeah, it's terrible right now. But, they're only a phone call away. You can still actually, you know what? You could even call them every so often in a week. Maybe you want to visit them for a special occasion in a month, or maybe like twice a month where, you visit them for a short while outside. You say hello. I guess you do what you can to make sure what you're doing is safe. There's many means that you can actually stay in touch with them, but it's amazing to actually get social interaction in person. You can get it through your phone, online, over a call, but physical interaction is better. Well, you should make a habit of it and do all CDC guidelines of keeping yourself safe. Yeah, nothing should stop you from seeing a good friend on occasion. I see people go out to eat every day, and they often enough do it almost every day. I might be lucky to see my friends every 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks. Some I've not seen at all since first squared. So keep your families and your friends close, because this is certainly going to be a rough ride. But show them how much you appreciate them in your life by keeping in contact and saying hello. Because it's a tough time, and it helps everyone to make them know that there's someone special in your life. So certainly do that. You know a friend, you know a family member that you appreciate in your life, say hello, have a chat with them. Because I'm sure they'd really appreciate that. Thanks, guys.